So tomorrow's election day, and I tell you what, folks, I have never in my lifetime felt an election quite like this one. This one feels different than any in the past. It feels like we're gearing up to watch the season finale of something. And the question is it going to be the season finale of Donald Trump and his pathetic career, or is it going to be the season finale of American democracy? I never thought we would be here with our democracy as threatened and our daughter's future as threatened as it is right now, but it's truly all on the line tomorrow. And I was out in California recently visiting, and I was talking to a good buddy of mine out there, and he said, you know what, this time I'm going for one issue. I'm going to vote for women's rights. I'm going to vote on the side of women. And there's a lot more men that are waking up and doing that this go around because we realize that our daughter's future is on the line. And I'll be brutally honest with you. There is no way in hell that I could vote for Donald Trump and look my daughter in the face. And I really don't know how anyone out there could. You know, Trump's first go around, he got in there and he said, I'm going to hire the best of people. I only hire the best of people. So he hired people that was experienced in their field. And when they got in there and realized just how inexperienced that he was, then of course he said they're the worst of people. They're fake news. They're bad people. You know, he just played his same old hits. But what it was is when they got in there with him, they realized that he was complete chaos and that he does not know how to work within the system to get anything done. So this go around, he would just throw out positions of power to anybody, regardless of their experience. And this right here, if anyone out there was still on the fence at this point, or if anyone just needs a really good reason to vote tomorrow, he wants to put RFK Jr. over women's health. Yeah, watch this and let it sink in.
A great guy, RFK Jr., Bobby. I said, Bobby, you work on women's health, you work on health, you work on what we eat, you work on pesticides, you work on everything.
So yeah, Trump wants to give RFK Jr. control over your daughter's health decisions and control over her future. The guy who found a dead cub on the side of the road and then decided to take it to Central Park and stage it to look like that a bicycle hit it. That lunatic is who he wants to be in charge of women's health. And I cannot be nice when it comes to RFK Jr. I just can't. The dude is an absolute loon, and no one should ever take him seriously at all. But Donald Trump is willing to give him a position of power like that. And people's like, well, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't, or he wouldn't really do these things, would he? Well, here's RFK Jr. saying that he would be all for a national abortion ban. So, again, let these sink in.
15 weeks?
Yes.
Or 21
Yes.
weeks?
Yeah, for 3 months.
So 3 months. You would sign a federal cap on that?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
So not only is American democracy on the line tomorrow, and not only is your daughter's future on the line tomorrow, but what's also on the line is that Donald Trump would surround himself by yes men, people who were completely inexperienced in the field that he put him in charge of. They would just be there to simply do his bidding. That's what a dictator wants. That's why he said, I would like to be dictator on day one, because he knows someone like RFK Jr. is bought and paid for. He won't rock the boat. If Trump decides to terminate the Constitution, RFK Jr. wouldn't rock the boat. And there RFK Jr. is saying that he would support a ban. Our daughter's future is on the line, and we're going to have RFK Jr. watching after him? That's Donald Trump's answer. Where could you get away with this in any other place and time? If you were to recommend someone at work, right, they would have to at least have some sort of experience or they wouldn't get hired. You couldn't just come in and say, hey, I got this friend over here. He's got no experience at this whatsoever. Doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't know how our company works. But hey, put him in charge of this department when he gets here. Hey, get him on here at the company, and then put him in this position of power that he knows absolutely nothing about. You would never be able to pull that off. And if you are a small business owner, ask yourself this: would you actually put someone in charge of something that they had no experience in? Would you leave your family business in the hands of someone who had no experience? Of course you wouldn't. So why would you leave your daughter's future in the hands of a dude as batshit nuts as RFK Jr.? He's just a guy that Trump bought and paid for. That's all he is. He's just a stooge. And the guy is an absolute disgrace to the Kennedy name. But that's beside the point. The point is, these are the kind of people Donald Trump wants to surround himself with because he doesn't want to be held accountable. The Supreme Court has gave him full immunity for official acts. Do you think there'll ever be a moment that RFK Jr. would step forward and say, wait a minute, I don't necessarily think that was an official act. I think you should be held accountable for that? No. No, the people he's going to surround himself with, if reelected for a second time, would be people who would just stand there and say yes to him. And that's what a dictator wants. They don't want anyone that will rock the boat because they don't want a democracy. So when he turns to the guy on Fox and Friends, like, yeah, I might put you over education. He would put anybody over anything if they would just say yes. They don't have to know what they're doing. They don't have to know what they're doing because he plans to do away with all of it anyway. They don't have to know what they're doing with education because he plans on getting rid of the Department of Education. I've never in my lifetime seen an election that was the answer could not possibly be any more clear. I've never seen one where it's just, to me, it couldn't possibly be any more clear that the only sane choice in this election is Kamala Harris. That's it. It's not even close to me. It's not. I cannot think of one thing that Donald Trump has ever said or did that would ever qualify him for an office. I thought he was a terrible president the first time around. January 6th was completely unforgivable, and everything he's done since then and every receipt I've brought here on the channel has been unforgivable. And I'm not going to forgive the people that propped him up. I'm not going to forgive the people that gave him a pass. I'm not going to forgive the people who was bought off by him like RFK Jr. None of these people, when they try to rebrand, when they try to pull back from this, I just want everyone to know how I feel, and I mean this from the top of the ladder all the way to the bottom. Anyone who has propped up Donald Trump since he came down the escalator, anyone who has been bought off by him, anyone who has made this nightmare continue 1 second longer will never get 1 ounce of forgiveness from Tennessee Brando. You can mark it down that I said it. On this day, November 4th, 2024, I will not forgive anyone that propped this guy up. I will not. I'll never let him off the hook. I'll never give him a pass. I'll never say, that's okay. We can agree to disagree on that. No, we can't, because you propped up the scum of the earth who wants to turn the American military on people like me that disagrees with him. So no, there's not going to be forgiveness. I'm not going to shake your hand after it's over. It's not happening. And I'm not going to look over at these politicians that try to rebrand and go, oh, well, maybe they didn't mean it. No, they meant it. And I'm not going to look my daughter in the face and say, yeah, I voted for a guy. I voted for one lunatic who wanted to put another lunatic in charge of your medical decisions. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But folks, I really appreciate you. I always say this at the end of my videos. I appreciate you guys so much for coming along on this ride with me. I have been sitting here in this chair now for the last couple of years doing what I do, and I've enjoyed every minute of it because I'm going to be on the right side of history one way or the other. I've not enjoyed some of the conversations we've had to have. I think it sucks that we've had to have some of these conversations. But I would much rather be sitting here talking to you about these things than back down at the bar singing Sweet Home Alabama for a bunch of drunks that would forget about it the next morning. So, your life takes different twists and turns. You never know where you're going to end up. All I ever plan to do is just play my guitar and sing my songs and be left alone. But I don't want to do that anymore. And I don't even want to be left alone. I want to be sitting here calling this bullshit out as long as there's oxygen in my lungs. So no matter what happens, that's what I'll be doing. And I don't care what the consequence of that is, because democracy means too much to me, and my daughter's future means too much to me. And standing up against everything that my grandfather fought against just means too much to me. I go to my grandfather's grave on a regular basis. I can't look at it. I couldn't look at his grave if I voted for Donald Trump. I couldn't even go back, because he almost didn't make it home fighting for democracy. I couldn't look at his stone ever again. I couldn't look my daughter in the face ever again. And yeah, you can judge this however you want to, but I ain't forgiving a damn one of you for propping this guy up. It don't matter how many times you requested me to sing a song or how many beers you bought me. Completely unforgivable.